Chawi, there was no party to mention. Afriforum introduced that information. I'm not sure where they got it from because it was definitely not from the mother's interview.
I really do think that sometimes we just pick up our phones, switch on cameras, and be saying the things without really processing them. You know, where do people get news that the 3 people of interest were vindicated or the 3 people of interest are now innocent? Like, there is so much misinformation out there, it is not even funny. And I want to share with you what was said in that media briefing, in that conference, because there's a question that was asked, that was clarified by the police there. I need you to hear what he said about the people of interest and the DNA. Kosiam. This is so frustrating sometimes. Welcome to South Africa Lately, a channel that discusses South African trending news. We do, however, grab here and there from international news when it is trending enough to be brought here. Please do listen.
Statements from the SAPS. The first initial statement that we had on the weekend was that the police are investigating allegations. Today, before the briefing, it was a sexual assault allegation. Today, nowhere in the statement do we mention what police are investigating. Can we get just clarity around what this matter is, what the matter investigated is? Is it allegations or sexual assault?
We spoke about 3 people of interest. Does not necessarily mean that those people are suspects. As we said, the first IOs, they did investigation, and it was identified that there are people that they could bring closer, and the DNA of these 3 has been taken, and it will be analyzed. So they are not suspects, they are people of interest. And the investigation, we are investigating a sexual offense, which, yes, in street language you might call it sexual offense, but we are investigating the possible alleged violation of the minor. The complexity of the DNA, I think what has been said is that DNA was collected from the victim, and there is no foreign DNA that has been found on the victim. But that doesn't mean we must close the investigation and stop. Hence, we appointed a senior investigator to look at further avenues because, as the minister said, investigation of cases of minors is quite very complex. It takes time because at some point the minor will be of assistance, but also it takes time. It's not something that happens quite quicker. So we are not complete with the investigation. We'll go further with the investigation, and if there is whatever leads we find, we'll follow in terms of the investigation.
You know what also makes this case very difficult is because she's a minor, that's one. She was going to have a difficult time also speaking for herself, even under a not so complicated situation. Number 2, according to what CWECWE said, that she smelled a bent tire and she felt tired and she got knocked out. There is no way she'd be able to tell who did this to her. So now we have this DNA that they're talking about. It has been taken and is being analyzed. Guys, is being analyzed. Nobody has been vindicated. And also what worries me the most is what are they going to match it with if there was no foreign DNA that was found from CWECWE? Like, what are they going to match this DNA with? The people who know better, kindly tell us in the comment section. What use is this DNA that was being collected from these 3 people of interest? What use? What use? How is it going to help in this situation? Kindly let us in the comment section. So I want to also share with you the people's views on this matter. Please, the Afriforum lying and all sorts of, it's a whole mess. It's a whole mess. Afriforum talking about a party that the child must have been violated in that party where there were many community members there. Hey guys, anyway guys, I'm not going to bore you any further. I'm going to leave you watching the video clips of the reaction of the people to that story, the way the people say these people have been now vindicated, they are now innocent. 1 2 3 1 2 3 4. Hey guys, and also I just want to share your people's views in this matter, especially that of Afriforum.
What is the point of lying on a public platform? They have not been cleared. They have not. Now let me inform people, since you seem to be misinformed. So this is an article released by ENCA today, 4 hours ago. Police minister slams handling of CWECWE's case. Let me just read the details for you. Okay, so since this is the most important part of the article, I'm going to read it with you. Okay, according to the minister, the initial forensic testing conducted on the victim did not detect any foreign DNA, making it difficult to identify a suspect. Why didn't they mention this? Why is this only being mentioned now? Because, come on. How do you identify a suspect without any DNA to match it to? Anyways, however, let me not just say anyways. No. This is too crucial of a part of the story. There is no DNA to match it to. So, anyways, they say initial forensic testing. So I just hope they're doing further testing. However, authorities have since identified 3 persons of interest: the principal, the caretaker, the transport driver, and further DNA testing is underway. So testing is still underway. I've seen all these comments saying that the results are out. I even saw on Twitter Chris Excel, something like that. Ati, the results are negative. Like, lies, bruh. Stop misinforming people, because that does a lot of damage to, true victims out there. Because, hey yo, you can't just let another person get away with it. Another person, and I'm talking about another person because one has already got away with it. Anyways, I mean, I have beef with these people, bruh. I have beef with these people. It's personal with me. It's personal. I don't care how you feel, because I've seen all the hate comments. I don't care. Don't.
Chawi, there was no party to mention. Afriforum introduced that information. I'm not sure where they got it from, because it was definitely not from the mother's interview, and they could have got it from their client, but that is actually misinformation. The party that they were preparing for their little one was going to take place on the Saturday. CWECWE was already, it was indicated that she was raped by the doctors on the Wednesday, before the Saturday when the party would have taken place. So I don't understand why they actually introduced that information. And they did it in the letter signed by GERRIE NEL on the 1st of April, 2025. So on point 17 of this letter signed by GERRIE NEL, they say, yet on the same version, the presentation of the injuries at the party, presumably attended by many neighbors, appears to have escaped scrutiny. There was no party to actually scrutinize.
I'm working out of town. So then I came back and my husband was complaining about CWECWE because she came back late from school on the day, and Malume, the transport guy, delayed to go and fetch them from school. Then on the 15th, I came to work and my husband was at home because he was off on the day. So our last one was not feeling okay, so he decided to take my son to consult with the GP. Then I also knocked off early on the day. Then we were rushed to the GP. I also rushed to the GP to go and check up on them. Then we arrived home at about 11:30, and my husband asked some of our neighbors to go and assist him slaughtering the pig because we're preparing for for my 1-year-old son's party that we're gonna have it celebrated on a Saturday. So now I came back from school at about 3:30. When she came back, I was complaining about her having a jersey on because the temperatures were very high on the day.
So there you go. There is no party to mention. Also, CWECWE did not go to go and slaughter the pig or anything like that. So I am not sure why they added that information or where they got that information, because that's not according to the timeline that is provided. Also, another thing is, CWECWE's mother also said to News 24 that GERRIE NEL must not gaslight her. That is not what she said. And CWECWE's mother also said why she said this happened on the Monday, and she refers to a tracksuit that has had blood on it. On Monday, the child wears tracksuit, said the mother. I say this happened on the 14th because the tracksuit had blood stains while what she wore on Tuesday had none. She said the child was picked up late at school and told them that while waiting for her transport driver, the caretaker had asked her to sweep a classroom. The mother contends that the child was exhausted and remembers being woken up to be told that the driver had arrived. So yeah, my suggestion is to take everything you see right now, unless it comes from a official person in SAPS with the name, with the rank. It is not verified information. There's been so much disinformation regarding this particular story. Okay, on your first line, he was not guilty. What I wanted to say is I personally didn't say he was guilty. I said there's a process of elimination. There were 3 men that are linked to the premises where the rape allegedly took place. Those 3 men would then go through what you call a process of elimination. That's how investigations work. And 2 of those men did provide their DNA. Okay. According to an interview that the minister had yesterday, 1 of them haven't yet, and that is the principal. The 2 that did provide, they provided at the end of January, and that is the driver and the caretaker. Okay, so yeah. On GERRIE NEL's investigation or Afriforum's input on this, okay, Afriforum and GERRIE NEL are representing a client that approached them. They said they were approached because he was getting death threats, okay, and also because of certain accusations being made. But then they said he approached them because he was asked for a DNA sample. So we're not sure why exactly he approached them. All right, we are not even going to draw conclusions. But what I wanted to highlight is that Afriforum and GERRIE NEL are not the police. They are not investigating. What they are doing is providing their side of the story and what they get from their clients. Okay. And personally, what I've always said is once the police have actually eliminated those 3 that are linked to the premises, then they can start looking elsewhere and widening the net. And I must tell you, this happened in October. It's very sad that they're only getting their asses into gear when there's a huge noise about it. So I have an issue with how they fumbled this case. But also I wanted to highlight another important fact, and that is the false information that DNA was provided and it has already been tested and stuff like that. No, that is not the case. Otherwise, they would have already said the 3 people at the school have already been eliminated out of the investigation process and they're going to widen the net. But more importantly, very importantly, is that in the same area, 2 other little girls, a 6-year-old and another 7-year-old, have also been raped at a school. They do not indicate which school though, but it is in exactly the same area, and this was last year. But here is the minister from the president's office.
Expecting the police to extend their investigation depending on the information that is available to anyone who can be a suspect. I'm making an example. Personally, I would not even leave relatives to the child who live with the child. So the investigation must include every other person, and that is why we are happy that the sample was taken for this DNA, one from the driver, two from the caretaker, and we definitely want the sample taken from the principal, but also taken from anyone else. If it is a father, even the father, it doesn't matter.
Bravi, we now know that this particular case of this 7-year-old girl is not the only case of rape that has been recorded in this particular town. We have been told that the two other cases that also occurred in October last year, one involves a 6-year-old and another one involves another 7-year-old, and that also we're told that these two incidents also occurred at a school. Pravi?